Nigeria has over 3,000 kilometers of inland navigable waterways and an extensive coastland of 852 kilometers with great potential in the movement of goods from the coast to the hinterland by water transport. However, the prospect seems undermined, no thanks to fiscal and operational constraints. For 2 decades, the once vibrant sector has taken a backseat, giving rise to questionable practices that hinder national development. But the story might possibly turn around for good, as the helmsman at the National Inland Waterways Authority believes in navigating its course of action towards change, revival, and ultimate victory. An astute believer in principles of best practices and a man from both worlds of politics and business, who many describe as a round peg in a round hole. He is a one-time governorship aspirant and fellow of Institute of Government Executives who sits on board of different companies. A highly motivated individual with utmost regard for family values. Welcome to Inspirators with Dr. George Moghalu. Robert Stevenson said, "It is not the harvest that you reap that matters, but the seed that you plant." Perhaps this is the reflection of our guest today on Inspirators. My name is Ngozi Chude. Thank you for joining us. And I have today the Managing Director, National Inland Waterways Authority, Dr. George Moghalu. Thank you very much for joining me on Inspirators.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. He wears a persona that amplifies confidence. Perhaps his outlook and background are contributory factors. Born 10th December 1962 in Aba, Abia State, Dr. George Moghalu's educational background took off first at the then Santa Maria Primary School, now Constitution Primary School, from there to Ungwa High School, both in Aba, and where he proceeded to Institute of Management and Technology, Enugu, for his tertiary education.
Did my service, came back, and then joined a family business. And then did that quite a while. And while doing that also was also playing politics. Later, to cut the long story short, when when the army left the scene and the political parties came to be during the NRC SDP days, I was of the NRC stock.
His love for business could possibly be born out of family interest, but politics is an attraction he couldn't tame. Joining politics in 1990, he was first elected as Publicity Secretary of the defunct National Republican Convention (NRC) and subsequently a member of the Conflict Resolution Committee in 1992.
We continued there until now. When we were about doing the governorship elections, we were lucky by the grace of God because we had a wonderful candidate, Dr. Boniono, who eventually won the governorship of Abia State. Remember that state has been created, and Abia has been carved out of Imo. So when he became the governor, he made his few appointments, and then I was among the lucky few. He appointed me Director General, Bureau of Cooperatives and Rural Development. So I was manning that department. And then we continued there. So when there was this Decree 45 change, we became permanent secretaries. Then I was that permanent secretary in the Ministry of Information and Culture. We were there for quite a while before the army came back again, and then we had to disperse.
The terrain was bumpy, and George Moghalu went back to his first love, business, where he ventured into advertising and construction consultancy services. However, the coast got clear again, and by 1999, he served as National Secretary of APP, which later changed to AMPP.
I was elected the first National Secretary of APP, a position I held till 2003 when I ran for governor for the same party in Anambra State, and then remained as a member of the National Caucus of the party. So when we now realized that removing PDP from power required coming together of all the political parties, opposition parties, then when they were nominated membership of the committees that were to midwife the new party, the national chairman then, coincidentally, Dr. Onu again, nominated me as a member, not only member, I was member secretary of the AMPP group, because in the course of our operations, by 2002, ending 2003, early 2003, we had already changed the name of our party from APP to AMPP, because then the UNPP stock joined us. So we now had AMPP. So Dr. Nuna appointed me as a member amongst another 18 people. Our own committee was led by His Excellency Governor Ibrahim Shekarau, Governor of Kano State, now Senator Shekarau. So he was the leader of the group that met with the group from ACN and the group from CPC, and then the offshoot of the group from APGA, led by Rochas Okorocha. Then we now all came together. I was more or less the coordinating secretary, because it was in my office that we were coordinating activities of that committee.
Ethics, passion, accountability, and self-conscious living. I liked some of his major mantra, one that motivated him for his shot at the governorship seat in 2003 in Anambra State. Though he lost, but his belief hinged on service in any sphere threw up its vision of achieving his best with a badge of honor and character.
The cardinal principle of political service is the people. Okay? If you realize you have a responsibility to the people, if you realize that every of our action, like there's a quote I have in my office in my village, and it says that power is a public trust that you're going to account for, if not here, in the world hereafter. Okay? I have it written in my office that power is a public trust because it's given to you by the people, believing that you're going to use that platform to serve them. It's a public trust that if you are not accountable to the people, you will account in the world hereafter. That is my conviction. So, and that is what actually makes me get scared in some of the decisions I take, because I try to place myself at the receiving end of every of my decision, because I know that I will account for it. I know I'm going to answer questions. If man doesn't ask me, God will ask me. That consciousness I have in my head. So it scares me. So it makes me kind of be more conscious. At all times, I strive to do my best. My best may not be good enough, but I want to do that best. So that first of all, I get myself satisfied that I did what I'm supposed to do. Whether I met your expectation is entirely a different ballgame. Let me first of all meet my own personal expectation, my own personal standards I've set for myself. Then I can now pray God, let it please the people. But let me be satisfied that I've done what is right.
Now, we're talking about family now, since you've mentioned it. But family values, how far do they go?
They go quite a lot. And it's always good to start early. Okay, because if you start early, the consciousness gets into the heart of the people you are trying to impact some knowledge or wisdom. Okay, if you start early, it will help, because the Bible tells us that teach a child the way he will go. When he grows up, he will not depart from it. So if you are conscious of that, that's the values we need to impact on the younger generation. Married by the grace of God for 34 years. And we're blessed by the grace of God with 5 children. Our first son is a lawyer. Our first daughter is a medical doctor. And then the third, a set of twins, boy and girl. The girl is a lawyer. The boy is a public relations consultant. He works in the in the private sector. And then my last daughter just finished her service. Very soon she will get employed and then starts work.
So you're a fulfilled man.
By the grace of God, yes.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you so very much.
His unwavering commitment through the years in party politics earned him a place at the National Inland Waterways Authority, NIWA, in 2019 as the Managing Director. His appointment by President Buhari was a testament of his vast public and private exposure, serving on boards of different companies. For Dr. George Moghalu, it was a responsibility that needed attention considering the state of Nigeria's waterways.
Water transportation is one area I have some passion for, because if you look at our history, time was in this country where majority of our movement was by water. But unfortunately now, that interest is gone because a lot of attention has been removed from that sector. But I think also that if we bring back that sector to be where it should be, it will impact very positively on our GDP, on our economy generally. It's going to impact because you see, movement of bulk cargo all over the world is either by water or by rail, not by road.
Yeah.
Not by road. And that is what is hitting our infrastructure, already infrastructure, very badly, because our roads are not designed to carry the weight they are carrying. We are trying our best to see that we change the narrative, to get people to understand the potentials in this sector, to get the private sector to partner with us. Yes, to the glory of God, a lot of interest. We are awakening a lot of interest, and people are now showing a little bit of interest to partner with us so that we can develop this sector. But I think it is important we do that.
Indeed, very important. Partnership and collaboration is the key. The program is still Inspirators on NTA. We'll take a short break now. When we come back, we will go over to the National Inland Waterways Authority liaison office to see what actually it entails.
Dr. Wada was not made overnight. It's been years and years of labor. But if you have a young doctor now, he wants to be Dr. Wada in 2 days or 3 days. It doesn't work that way.
Their struggles.
I'm just so happy that God used me to give hope to Ali, because without us, Ali would have been dead by now. And I'm sure there are over 1,001 other Alis out there that we don't even know.
Their stories.
I am elected and I swore to defend everybody that is resident within Plateau State. I'm not the chief security officer of my tribe or a religion. I'm chief security officer of everybody.
Their wins.
I walked into NTA. Fidelis Abiki hears my voice. He says, my friend, has anybody auditioned you before? And I said, no, you need to go to the studio. We need to employ you as a staff of NTA. I was excited. I want to be a broadcaster. I want to be seen. I had that notion. I had that desire to be famous.
Get inspired on Inspirators, showing on NTA News 24.
So I understand from the research I made that there are 10 liaison offices. And this Abuja is just like...
Abuja is one. We have area offices.
Okay.
26.
26?
In 26 states, yes. But Abuja is the area office, liaison office for the country.
Okay. What about Lokoja?
Lokoja is the headquarters.
Oh, okay,
That's where we...
Okay. I'm just wondering, why the headquarters? Okay, because of the waterways.
Don't forget that Lokoja is a confluent city. Okay, and it's not something that just started now. Okay, it's been the headquarters of the waterway all this while. Okay. Yes.
All right. I can see you have a large office here.
Yes, we have a reasonable...
This is one of the 26 area offices of NIWA. Stepping into the office with the managing director, one could only imagine the weight of transforming a system that has not been optimally utilized since its inception in 1998. Dr. Moghalu is not weighed down. Rather, he acknowledges the huge challenge of funding and is seeking ways to turn the tide. Uppermost in his transformation agenda is improving capacity building towards engendering greater exploits.
I remember as a student, when I went to visit my uncle who was in Calabar then as a custom officer, I went by water. I came by road from Aba where we lived then, got to Oron and then went by water to Calabar, even before the two bridge was built. So back then there was a lot of emphasis, a lot of activities on our waterway. But all of a sudden, that was completely abandoned. Nobody was looking towards that side anymore. It became road. And it's unfortunate too, because our road infrastructure, is not designed to carry the weight it's carrying, and that's why these infrastructures don't last. So the emphasis now for us in NIWA, and then with the support we've received from the federal government, from our ministry, from critical stakeholders, is that we are now diverting our attention to see to what extent we can reactivate and change the narrative so that the water sector can be put into full use. And we believe that very strongly, and that is where our emphasis is now. We're engaging the critical stakeholders, the Importers Association, the Chambers of Commerce, the badge owners, the badge operators. We're getting everybody involved. As we speak, we've registered over 15 badging companies that are willing to partner with us to move cargo. Effort is being made now within this first quarter for us to start moving cargo from Lagos to Onitsha by water. Once we are able to break that jinx, when I came into office, they said, no, it's not possible, shallow, draft, this, that. I said, no. I started consulting privately without anybody knowing. And with the support I received from the president of the Badge Operators Association, we moved cargo between One and Onitsha. Okay? And that is the first commercial cargo in 2020 for a port that was built over 40 years ago.
So how many operational ports do we have now in Nigeria?
For the river ports, apart from, there's a major difference. The sea ports, the ones you have in Lagos or on Done, are different from the river ports being managed by the National Inland Waterways. Completed today, we have Onitsha River Port, which we are almost concluding the concessioning process. Then the Baro River Port is also world-class port, fully completed.
And the Oguta?
Oguta is under construction. Yes, and the Jamata, the one in Lokoja, is also under construction. Then the one in Makurdi, we're about to start because there's provision for it in the 2022 budget. So that is the situation as it affects these ones. But again, within this period also, new jetties have been developed. The old ones, some of them are being rehabilitated now because these jetties are like stop points. They are stop gaps so that both agricultural products and even cargo can be moved within the country, within the hinterland, using these jetties.
Nigeria's waterways is about 10,000 kilometers, but only 3,000 kilometers is navigable as of right now. However, George Moghalu believes nothing is impossible when there is a will.
My emphasis now is to ensure that these over 3,000 kilometers are put into active use. All right? If we put into active use, I can assure you that apart from the fact that it's going to generate resources that will help us in opening up these remaining ones, apart from that, it will also create a major impact on our GDP. It will impact positively on the economy so that people will see the potentials that we've left fallow all these years.
Now, what are the potentials inherent in a system like this?
Yes, there's quite a lot. If we move all our cargo, if we move all our majority, let me not say all, majority of our cargo by water, apart from the savings we are going to make from saving our infrastructure from decaying, we also will generate some more employment, and then we'll develop new towns on the routes by which these vessels move. At the same time also, it's going to impact positively on our tourism potentials.
What are the clear-cut programs driven in this regard for employment, in creating employment for the youth?
Yes, for example, we have developed our training institute now to train boat operators, to license them. Okay, if you get to our Warri office now, you will see a department where boat engines are being maintained and being repaired and maintained. Some young men are part of it now within that coastal environment. We get them involved, train them, because we believe that with time they should be able to take charge and be able to maintain our vessels. Our training school is also on there. We also have something like that in Lagos. I'm about going to Port Harcourt because we want to set up also another one in Port Harcourt so that we can train our people. We are doing it in phases because apart from the limited resources available to us, we are looking at also Calabar, our area office in Calabar, to replicate, because what we do, we use one area office as a test case, as a study. Once we succeed there, we now try to replicate it somewhere else. Like as we speak now, we are using a task force we created in Lagos to enforce all the newer protocols, enforce all the COVID protocols on the waterways. Now it's working out very well. We are thinking about going to replicate the same task force in Port Harcourt, the same task force in Warri, same in Calabar, and some of our area offices where we have heightened activities like in Yauri to make sure that all these protocols are fully obeyed.
Okay, in retrospect now, 2021 there were icons for you.
Yeah.
Can you just list some of those icons? And then let's look at 2022. Under your watch, what is NEWA going to achieve in 2022?
Right. I would like to start from the human capital development. With in 2021, we did quite a lot of trainings locally and internationally. And even the programs of 2021, some of them have run into this particular 2022. We have also done a lot of infrastructural development. Like I mentioned, the Uguta River Port that is ongoing, the Jamata River Port that is ongoing. Work is heightened in those two ports as we speak. We've been able to complete the Odekbe River jetty in Odekbe in Obaru, local government of Anambra State. A jetty is being built now as we speak, 2 in Iwokbe in Biokuta. There's also one we're doing now at Ila. Okay, we're doing shoreline protection activities. We have completed the Yenegua 2 jetty. Okay, we're also doing something there with regards to shoreline protection in Lagos. Today we have done by PPP arrangement. There's a new major world-class jetty that has just been completed in Aquamarine Port on Queen's Drive. World-class port by any standard. They've just completed that, very soon to be commissioned. There's also the one we are doing in, what's it called, Oyimbo PPP arrangement that is ongoing. We're also talking with a few other organizations that want to do some PPP arrangements with us. We've also procured some vessels, okay, ambulances that will be distributed to our area offices. We're still getting more. We have procured a lot of boats. We've distributed to our area offices for use. Like in the light of the ferry, the accidents that's happened place in Yauri and what have you, we've donated 2 boats there, which we did in partnership with a senator, Senator Balana Allah. We've given those boats there, ferry boats. We're also making arrangements to get more other vessels that will deploy. We have sent quite a lot of life vests, life jackets across all our area offices. We distribute them as part of our CSR, our responsibility. We've done quite a lot.
Dr. George Moghalu highlighted 2021 as a year for human capital and infrastructural development, with a belief that 2022 will consolidate and embrace partnership and collaboration with partners to make water transportation a preferred choice. 59-year-old Dr. George Moghalu thrives on sincerity of purpose, but above all, he believes in a life of impact and servitude.
If you go to our headquarters today, it wasn't what it used to be. There's a lot of facelift, a lot of new structures have sprung up in that place. And then if you ask also the staff, they will tell you that the narrative has changed.
For 2022, what are you looking at?
We are going to continue with our laid out programs. Completing existing projects is one. Continue with our training programs. Expose our staff more. Do more jetties that are provided for in the budget of 2022 as approved. Okay, there's quite a lot of projects that are listed there, which we intend to continue.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. George Moghalu. It's been a wonderful time talking with you on Inspirators, and we wish you all the best in your endeavors.
Thank you very much.
With all the tall orders.
Thank you so very much. Thank you very much.
It's been Inspirators on NTA. Join us next week for another interesting edition of the program. Till next week, my name is Ignazi Chude. God bless you.